What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and today I've got an unboxing and first look of the brand new Apple Watch Series 7. So I know we just wrapped up some of the iPhone unboxings as well as the iPad releases, and there's a ton of Apple products this year, but now it's time for the Apple Watch. And this year, there's some small changes in terms of the display size, the brightness, and also some new colors as well. And in front of me, I have the Series 7 in the green aluminum in the 45mm size. So I'm definitely excited to see just how big of a difference it is in terms of what it's like on an everyday basis by having that larger display. Because for anyone who has the Apple Watch and relies on it on a daily basis, being able to see more information on your watch face and text and all that kind of stuff is always very, very handy. And personally, I've kind of been a back and forth watch user. I've had the Apple Watch a few times and I might have worn it for a few months, but I definitely look forward to actually trying this latest generation. I'm trying to use it for some more fitness related stuff, and also the fact that we have a few different bands here, and I think my favorite one overall is usually the one in the leather loop. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox it, give you a setup, talk about the new features, and show you around. But I'm also gonna talk about my favorite configuration and color, because there are quite a few options this year, including the new set of aluminum ones in the matte black, the Starlight, the green one right here, and also the navy one. And on top of that, you also have the option for the stainless steel and also the stainless black, the titanium models, and a whole bunch of different strap configurations that I'm not gonna go over right now because there are just so many. So in terms of the packaging itself, it looks pretty similar here, and just gonna go ahead and open it up. I remember in the past years I might have opened it up a little bit wrong, but we just have to pull that tab, and there you have it. You have a bit of art on the inside, and we're just going to get rid of that sleeve there, and there is the actual Apple Watch and also the strap. It's just, there's a tab right here. And you can see it has a very nice matching sleeve to go with it. And there's also some paperwork right here, and there's also the charging cable. And charging is actually one of the features that has been improved, so look forward to checking that out. I believe it's about 33% faster than the previous generation. And it uses the USB Type-C, but the power brick is something that you're going to have to grab separately. So here's the power cord. We're just going to set that aside and also put some of the packaging over here. And now just actually taking it off, you can see it says the 45mm text right there. And I think the best way is just to kind of slide it out along here so this could be revealed. And honestly, in terms of my first impressions, I will say that the green is actually very subtle, which is a good thing, because I know they have the light green and stuff, but I think that this is the perfect kind of forest green, where in certain lights it actually looks more like a very dark gray, but as it kind of sits in the sun, I imagine that you're gonna see more of the green factor. So I actually think that is really, really nice, and I'm personally happy that I went ahead and picked this color right here. So let's just set that down and take a look at the strap. And there you have it. So just some information over here. And I'm probably gonna be the small strap, I believe. So here's one side of it that we're gonna take out, and here's the other. So here, just installing the strap. I actually wear my watches on my right hand because I write left-handed. I know a few of you have commented on that before, so I'm just gonna make sure it is the right configuration for that. I believe the digital crown would usually be on this side. So yeah, this is the green Apple Watch that I have in front of me, and I think with the strap and everything, it is a little bit lighter than the actual body itself, but if you decide to go with a different color strap, such as a black, it will blend in very nicely just to give you that very subtle forest green look. So I did also get a few other straps, including a nylon one right here that is the braided solo loop, and this one is for the 45mm. It is in a navy blue, and this is the leather link, which is probably the one that I personally like the most, just because it has very little adjustment and it's easy to just put on and take off as you would. So and there we have it. So we're gonna take a look and see what that looks like with this Apple Watch. And I've got to say, this is like a very solid combination, because when it's like just sitting here from the face, it is just like a fully black watch. Unless you take a look at it from the side a little bit, then you get to see that green, and I think the saddle brown on the inside is just a very nice touch overall. And I'm just going to take off my watch and just try it on and see how this all comes together. So yeah, for now I'm just gonna have to have the dial on that side. But the link just kind of goes on like that. And yeah, like this overall feels really good on the wrist, and I think it looks great right here. So the next step is we're gonna go ahead and actually set it up and walk you through the process, some of the apps that I might be adding on to the Apple Watch. And yeah, so to go ahead and pair it, we're going to just bring the watch a little bit closer to the phone, and just going to go to the start pairing option, set up for the Apple Watch, and then gonna position the Apple Watch in frame. And just like that, it's like a really fast process. So I'm gonna actually set it up as a brand new one, and I wear the watch on the right side, so we're gonna select that. The digital crown orientation is probably gonna be on the bottom, just because I'm gonna have to reach it from the left hand. And as you can see, it tells you that it's a 45mm aluminum case. So for those who have like the previous generation, the Apple Watch Series 6 came in a 40mm and a 44mm option, whereas this year's comes in the 41 and the 45. And I think the best part about these upgrades is that the screen is getting bigger and closer to the edge-to-edge design that people love in smartwatches or watches in general. And that just gives you a lot more touch surface, because the issue that I might have had in the past when I did wear an Apple Watch on like the Series 3, for example, is just that I felt like the design wasn't yet like a very futuristic look that I might have been used to from the other Android watches that I've tried before. So we're gonna just agree to the terms and conditions here. So it's just gonna sign into the account, and then I can go and pick some of the apps that I want installed and everything. At the moment, I think I'm gonna have like my package tracker and all that kind of stuff. Also, like hopefully Notion has an app. And of course, when it comes to fitness, that would also be nice to go ahead and test out. In terms of text, I mean, I'm pretty young, so I would say like having smaller text is something that I usually prefer on the phones. So we're gonna be one step up from the smallest size. I'm not gonna add a passcode because I'm probably the only one that's gonna be wearing it. And then we're going to install, or we're gonna go back and have the updates install automatically. And then the cellular setup. We're gonna have the always on display as well. That is a feature that was introduced last year that was very welcome. So continue with that. And because I do have a lot of apps, I'm actually gonna manually pick them because I don't need all of them on the Apple Watch. But just taking a look here, it gives you some tutorial options of like what's new in watchOS, and it'll take you straight to the tips, get to know it, and there you have it. So now it's gonna go ahead and sync, and once that is ready, we can select the apps and the settings needed to get up and running. So now the initial setup is all done. So I'm gonna pick some of the apps and also the watch faces that I was looking to go ahead and use. And so here we're just going to go to the app view and like the overall arrangement. So we're gonna keep it in kind of that like grid view as opposed to the list. And when it comes to the dock, I think I'm going to have some of the favorites marked, but first I gotta go ahead and add some apps. So these are all the available apps right here. I would say LastPass is one that I use quite a bit. There's also Deliveries, Apple Store, probably not too often, Facebook Messenger, NHL, I guess, to check the score. Shazam is also a very handy one if you're just like out and about and need to find a song. I would say Shopify, don't really have to have that on there. Spotify, it's nice that it has the Apple Watch app now. And other than that, I think that is pretty much it. I think Google Maps might be a good one to have as well. And I think the Miros one is one that allows me to control some of the lights that are both in the home and office. But yeah, I'm not trying to like overcrowd it or anything. And otherwise, we just need to go through some of the settings and it'll show kind of the options here and there. But I think that is all good to go. It's gonna install onto the watch, and now it's time to pick some of the watch faces. So some of the new ones for this year are Contour and also the Modular Duo. And because of it having a little bit more space to work with, the Modular Duo is one that does take advantage of the larger display because it does have like the width for it, and it shows you like some of the weather related stuff, and you can really go ahead and customize it. But personally, I do check the weather quite often when it comes to like filming and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say wind, rain, conditions, all that kind of stuff, as well as the color options. You can have like the green one to kind of match the color of the watch. But yeah, I think the world time is also pretty cool. So I'm going to add that, as well as the Contour one, which really like wraps right around the screen. I'm not the biggest fan of the way that one looks, but I would say the Modular Duo is definitely one that I'm gonna go ahead and try. And when it comes to activity, I mean, I'm kind of inside all day, so I don't really need that. But the California ones I also think are very stylish. Same with like the Chronograph, as someone who really likes watches. Chronograph Pro is also pretty cool. You can kind of go through all these and pick the watch faces. You could also download some as well, but I think those are the ones that I'm gonna go with for now. And some of the other settings are in the... So now that the setup process is all done, I'm just going to put the actual watch on, and there you have it. So I think the first thing that I noticed is that the display is pretty noticeably bigger. Having a bezel that is 40% smaller on a display of the size is going to make an impact. And because it is like wrapped around, it does really give you like an edge-to-edge feel to it, as you can see right here. And so I think for a lot of people who are like daily users of the Apple Watch and are very loyal to the system, there are gonna be more people who are gonna buy the Apple Watch Series 7 coming from the Apple Watch Series 6 than there are people who are coming from the iPhone 12 going to the iPhone 13. So let's just go ahead and show you guys the actual watch faces that I've chosen and the ones that I've kind of chosen to play around with. And yeah, they definitely do look a lot better. And just gonna tap on it here again. And there's also the Meridian one. So now we're just gonna go over like the actual watch faces, and there's the Chronograph and the Modular Duo. And here's all the notifications, so I'm just gonna clear them for now because these are all like very introductory ones. You slide it up and you have some of your other options. There's the device connections. You also have like the fall detection, theater mode, which turns it into silent and also keeps the screen dark until you tap it. And there you also have the option to page your phone from anywhere. So in terms of some of the other changes, aside from the display being larger and also 70% brighter, it is also more durable, with the front crystal display protecting the actual screen being 50% thicker. So it's not gonna prevent it from like scratches or anything, but when it comes to like actual drops and hard impact, it is more durable than the previous generations. That is just like a nice feature to have. When it comes to the actual water resistance, it is the same as the previous years. It has the dust resistance as well. And when it comes to like the actual processor and the performance improvements, it is pretty much the same as last year with the same chip and processor, but it is the SIP7 compared to the SIP6, just to accommodate like the bigger display. But on paper and in terms of performance, it is exactly the same as the previous generation Apple Watch Series 6. And there weren't any like complaints or anything of performance on the previous gen, so it wasn't like it really needed any updates. But with like watchOS and all that, there are optimizations. And in terms of the battery life, it still gives you 18 hours in total, but the charging speed is 33% faster. In terms of like the actual tangibility of the charging speed improvements, it gets you about 0 to 80 in 45 minutes. If you do want to use the Apple Watch for sleep tracking though, just 8 minutes of charge will get you up to 8 hours of sleep tracking. So if you're just like in the shower and about to go to bed or whatever it is, then you can at least get that charge to carry it over into the next day and be able to get all that useful data. But at this point, I would say it's definitely not a year where the Apple Watch has been completely redesigned like some of the rumors were pointing towards, but instead gave you one pretty decent upgrade of a larger display and a lot of other like tiny fine-tuned features. And if you're coming from like a previous generation Apple Watch, then this is gonna be one that you really want to go ahead and purchase. But if you're coming from the Apple Watch Series 6, unless you're someone who absolutely loves it and just has to have the very best, I feel like it's not a year that you have to update. If you've never had an Apple Watch before though, that also makes the decision a little bit interesting because there's also the Apple Watch SE and also the Apple Watch Series 3, which comes in at a price of $199, whereas the SE comes at a price of $279, but at a starting price of $399 for the flagship Apple Watch. Then you're just gonna have to decide what makes sense for you. And I would say the SE is a pretty good model to get overall, but $120 for something that you wear every single day might be worth the jump to some people. If you guys enjoyed this video and if you have any questions, make sure you go ahead and drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below, and I'll try my best to answer some of them and any other videos that you want to go ahead and see, and I'll see you all in the next video.